In today's Black Clover video we show you why Asta is a devil hybrid. Also, only a small percentage of the people who watch our videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. Please enjoy this video, let's go! In our videos we often mention that Asta could be a devil hybrid based on our old theories, when our channel was still relatively small, so many of you don't know this theory and thus don't quite understand why we always mention that Asta could be a devil hybrid. Here, a better and more recent version of this theory. Why do we think that Asta could be a devil hybrid? The most important fact is that Asta is different from a normal human in many ways. First of all, Asta was born without magic. Not even a small drop of mana flows through his body, which makes him literally different from any species capable of controlling mana. That is, human, elves, devils, demons, spirits, deities, most probably dwarves, and all other beings capable of possessing mana, like animals and even nature itself. In the history of mankind, at least on the continent of the Four Kingdoms, there has never been anyone without magic. The only known being in the Black Clover universe who is just like Asta without a drop of mana is a devil named Liebe, who was thrown out of the underworld so that he ended up in the world of the living. This happened on the same day that Asta was given away by Lysita, so the next day she happened to find Liebe somewhere in a forest. Also by chance she found a 5-leaf clover grimoire a little earlier in which Liebe was later sealed, and then by another great coincidence her son Asta received this grimoire one day, with which he was finally reunited with his foster brother Liebe. This whole Asta Liebe Lysita story is a bit too much to be just a pure coincidence. If I'm being completely honest, I just don't see how Lysita could be a danger to Asta. Of course we know that she is capable of literally wiping out living beings by absorbing their mana and life force if they get too close to her, as we saw with the snake in Lysita's house. That's why the fanbase initially believed and perhaps still believe that this is the reason she gave Asta away, but I have my doubts about that. In fact, in reality she never explained why she gave Asta away in the first place. That it is because of her illness is just a hasty conclusion that Tabata may have even wanted us to believe in order to distract us from reality. The fact is that Lysita was pregnant with Asta for 9 months, if we assume that Asta was born like any other human being. So during these 9 months, Asta was completely immune. Furthermore, we also know that Lysita brought Asta to Hage from her house, which is supposedly far from any civilization because she is dangerous for humans. It absolutely doesn't matter if she walked for a week or a day or even an hour with Asta in her arms. We all saw what she did with the snake. There's no way Asta would have survived that journey from Lysita's house to the church if he wasn't immune. Lysita explained that the fact that Liebe is not affected by her illness is most likely because he has no mana, and she believes that the life force that she can absorb is different than the life force that keeps Liebe alive, because he is a devil. She put it a little different by saying that she suspects that Liebe has no life force at all, which obviously makes no sense because Liebe is alive. So that would mean that Asta was given away because he has a different life force than Liebe. But if Asta was given away for another reason and he really wasn't affected by her disease, then either Asta is a devil hybrid without mana, or Lysita can absorb life force only through mana, because it has been confirmed several times that life force and mana are connected. So if Asta lacks this connection, then Lysita can't harm him, which would then be the reason why she couldn't absorb Liebe's life force. Asta was completely immune to the life force absorbing substance from the underworld that Zagreus released, with Asta not even using anti-magic at that moment. Everything indicates that Lysita gave Asta away for a different reason than originally thought, not because she was dangerous to him, but nonetheless definitely to protect him. If we now take a closer look at her life after she gave Asta away, in order to understand what exactly she might have been protecting him from, we see that she actually had a rather quiet and safe life, until exactly 1 year later, Lucifero ended her life because he wanted to use Liebe, whom Lysita found literally 1 day after she gave Asta away. The fact that Asta, who was given away by Lysita, and the fact that Liebe, who was found by Lysita a day later, could very likely be related. By this I mean that the reason Asta was given away must be because Lysita was supposed to watch over Liebe, but not because Liebe is dangerous to Asta, but because Lysita has always known that Lucifero would one day come after Liebe, and so it is obviously not safe to have a human child around a devil who will one day be targeted by the king of the underworld. Lysita was perfectly prepared to defend Liebe with her life. She had a 5-leaf Clover grimoire and even knew that sealing Liebe inside the grimoire would protect him from Lucifer for many years. Licita knew about the rumors about the 5-leaf clover and its connection with devils. She was not afraid of devils and was actually quite well informed about them. She even knew that not all devils are evil. It is normal to think that all devils are evil, unless they have met a good devil before. Licita took an unconscious devil to her home without knowing what would happen when he woke up, not to mention the risk that she might kill him. Why would she suddenly assume that Liebe was immune and had no mana? To find out, she would have had to test this first by coming closer to Liebe, who was already almost dead and thus risking that he would suffer even more additional damage. In his condition, that would be certain death if Liebe were not immune. All of this can only be explained if we assume that someone told her that Liebe would show up in the human world, and that Lucifer would come for him one day, which is why Asta must be given away. Therefore, Licita was given the 5-leaf clover grimoire to seal Liebe one day to protect him from Lucifero. Logically, the same person who told Licita all this could also be the reason why the grimoire later ended up in the grimoire tower, just waiting for Asta to receive it. So the only mystery that remains is who this person is and what is Licita's relationship to this person. If everything I just explained is correct, then obviously she must have a strong connection to Liebe before she even found him. Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth giving up her own life and exchange Liebe for Asta, her biological son. So the value must be reasonably equal, which only works if Liebe is also Licita's biological son. And now we are beginning to get an idea of who that person might be, if everything I have said is correct. The only person that comes to mind is Liebe's father and husband of Licita. And here's the thing, we have said that it's only reasonable to give Asta away in exchange for Liebe if Liebe is Licita's biological child, just as Asta is, which means that Asta and Liebe must be biological siblings, making Liebe a human hybrid, and thus Asta's and Liebe's father must be the person who could have given Licita the 5-leaf clover grimoire. Asta was born in the human world while Liebe was born in the underworld. We can't just ignore that Asta looks like the human version of Liebe and Liebe like the devil version of Asta. They are the same size and have the same hair. Asta didn't even need a relic to summon Liebe in the devil binding ritual, in which Nacht literally confirmed that there was an unknown and very deep connection between him and his devil. What connection should this be that allows Asta to summon Liebe without a relic? Could it be a blood relation? Before my partner continues with this video, please take a moment to leave a like. With your support, we can continue to create more and better content for you. Thank you.
Now that we have explained the general idea of why Asta might be a devil hybrid, let's look at a few attributes that are unique to Asta that might point to this idea. The biggest clue that supports our theory is that Asta is the owner of the 5-leaf clover grimoire. This has been confirmed by both Liebe and Licht. We know that after a 4-leaf clover user falls into deep despair, so that the grimoire turns into a 5-leaf clover, the original possession of the grimoire is cancelled and the grimoire can then be obtained by devils. We have seen that Zagreus did not try to take Asta's grimoire, but focused on throwing Patri into deep despair, and with it create a new 5-leaf clover grimoire. Most likely because 5-leaf clover grimoires cannot simply be used by all the devils at the same time. But once they are in possession of a devil, they belong only to that one devil. So the grimoire must literally belong to Asta. And here's the problem. Based on what we know, 5-leaf clover grimoires can only be used by devils because devils don't get grimoires in the traditional way, where a grimoire chooses its owner, but the other way around. A devil chooses a grimoire if it's a 5-leaf clover. So normally, there should be no way that Asta would be able to get a 5-leaf clover grimoire unless he is a devil or a devil hybrid. That his grimoire suddenly appeared in front of Asta, but not in the ceremony itself. It's a clear indication that Asta did not receive it in the traditional way. He wasn't chosen, but he didn't find it himself either. It was suddenly there, and Asta made it his own. The fact that the grimoire was hidden behind a stone in the grimoire tower suggests that someone deliberately hid it there, which becomes even clearer when you consider that the guard in the grimoire tower made it seem as if he recognized the grimoire. That is, as if he knew that someone had once hidden it there. The main thing is that Asta is able to use the 5-leaf clover grimoire as if he were a devil. We know that Asta is physically extremely strong and fast, much stronger and faster than normal people who don't use magic to improve their physical abilities. We know that Asta has no magic, and yet he is probably the strongest person on earth in terms of physical strength. We know that many devils have the characteristic of being physically strong, which we have seen especially with Lucifero. Asta's immense strength could be explained if he indeed is a devil hybrid. And of course, the additional devil marks when Asta and Liebe use the devil union mode are also a very clear indication that these marks belong to a devil other than Liebe. In such fusions, the devil attributes combine. We have seen this with Lilith and Nama, and with Nacht when he uses a fusion in the devil's union mode. So if we assume that Asta is a devil hybrid, then his and Liebe's devil union mode based on an equal contract is just like a devil fusion similar to Lilith and Nama, and thus the additional devil attributes must belong to Asta when no second devil is secretly involved. That's about all there is to say about Black Clover, but we actually have more evidence outside the series itself that Asta could be a devil hybrid. For that, we need to take a look at Yuki Tabata's, the creator of Black Clover's, previous work, Hungry Joker. Hungry Joker was cancelled after only 24 chapters. I'll show you how the two series are connected and why that suggests Asta could be a devil hybrid. The way Tabata sets up his stories is by first introducing a series of seemingly random and fairly well-hidden foreshadowings, all of which later lead to a specific event, for example, the reincarnation of the elves. In one of Tabata's old interviews, he said that he knows all the major events in his entire story from the beginning, and then each week he tries to find a way to tie all the major events together until the story is complete. We know that Tabata loves to write big, long stories, as he tries to do with Black Clover, and that's most likely how he intended to do it with Hungry Joker. Unfortunately, however, the series was cancelled after only 24 chapters, meaning he couldn't really write what he had planned. The story wasn't cancelled because it was bad, but because people didn't like the characters or the world building. They didn't even have a chance to judge the actual plot. The problem was that Tabata already had a whole plot line in mind, and that specific plot wasn't necessarily connected to the Hungry Joker specific world building. So in theory, he could just create a new series and use the same plot, but this time make sure the readers will like the overall world. So what Tabata did was to take the most generic aspects of the Shonen Jump history and create a world that he could be sure would appeal to young readers in Japan, because those generic aspects have worked for the last 20 years. This is why Black Clover appears to be so cliche in the first few arcs. So he took a mixture of all the popular series and packed them into one single world, and then slowly, step by step, began to introduce the plot he was planning for Hungry Joker. Starting with the main character, a little guy who has no idea about his past or family. He will soon meet another tall and handsome man who is always with his green-haired little assistant, literally Yuno and Sylph. Then there is a mysterious genocide that we only see in small flashbacks, just like the massacre of the elves. There is a kind of demonic race called the Mavro. The resemblance to devils is obvious. Then we see a mix between Noelle Silva and her mother Asier Silva. She has steel powers and even uses the Valkyrie dress. She is also a noble woman who is hated by her family because of her ability, very similar to Noelle. In addition, this girl is a proud tsundere who always talks about how much she wants to be alone and how noble she is, until she meets the main character and falls in love with him, while denying her own feelings just like Noelle in Black Clover. And many more similarities. We can literally see the former Purple Orca captain in one of the panels. The main character later found out that he is a hybrid between a human and a devil. If we believe the theory that Hungry Joker is Black Clover in another universe with a different world building and power system, then Asta could possibly be a devil hybrid as well. In Hungry Joker, the main character's assistant is a smart scientist. This girl obviously looks like Sally, the same hairstyle, the same face, and the same profession. As the series progressed, the plot led to the point that she needed to understand the main character's genetics. After understanding the genetics, she was able to invent certain things to help everyone in the fight, just as Sally was able to develop magic tools after studying Asta's DNA in Black Clover. Here, we believe may be the key to Asta's exposure as a devil hybrid. If there really is anything special about Asta's body that would explain why he has no mana, then the only one able to reveal this is Sally, who has always spoken of her desire to study Asta's DNA since her first appearance. Almost as if Tabata had been building this plot since the first time Sally was introduced. Sally was very disappointed when Asta didn't show up with Nacht at the beginning of the Spade Kingdom arc, as if she was looking forward to telling Asta something. So if Asta really is a hybrid, then Sally has most likely figured out all the answers about Asta's body, making her the key to this theory. So that's it for today, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to smash the like button, and if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell turned on. See you guys in the next video. Yami out.